Hello everyone and welcome back to another Arty class hosted by Shopkeep Arty, the shop platform used by artists, galleries, schools and students to create and run their own shop to showcase their art in a virtual walk around gallery and sell it without the usual hassle. Visit our website or YouTube page and there's loads of videos all about how our platform can help you collect money from your fans and supporters for pretty much anything you want to offer them. For those watching for the first time, be it on this interactive webinar or live on YouTube, our free weekly RT classes feature award-winning artists and are designed for all ages, providing a creative escape every week on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock UK time. On Thursdays, we also run RT classes for our patrons. So if you enjoy it today, you can support our cause for as little as £1.50 a week and get an extra RT fix on a Thursday as well. You do need to register for each interactive webinar, and you can do this by visiting shopkeeparty.com/RT classes. And I'll actually just show you here on the shared screen. So when you visit Shopkeep Arty, literally click on Shop Arty Classes, and on the Arty Classes page, you'll be able to visit our Arty Class archive. We've got all the videos that we've had there, and also our workshops, which are 2 to 3 hours full, which you can unlock from there as well. And then obviously you can register for any up and coming live ones. We've got some fantastic ones on the horizon. Randy Hale, if you're in America, you may know him, but also we've got Michael Jazowicz in Poland, who's we're going to be featuring soon. Anya Devine, who's an amazing portrait artist. So there's lots of great things that you can go and have a look at there. So with the support we receive from our patrons, we hunt out amazing artists such as Keiko from around the world and share them with you free for 45 minutes each week. Our free Arty classes are designed to give a great taster, but we then provide you with the opportunity of booking a full workshop webinar with the artist. This is a much more immersive experience where you'll spend 2 to 3 hours with the artist and learn a lot of their tips and tricks for creating amazing art. It's just £35 or just over £10 an hour, which is fantastic value. And actually also today we're going to be trialing a new concept that we're calling Hot Tickets, which is a limited time discount to attend the artist workshop. So stay tuned, I'll be mentioning that a bit later. This week, we're welcoming Keiko Tanabe, who was born in Japan, but currently lives in San Diego, California. So it's quite early over there at the moment. Her paintings have been in many US and international exhibitions, both juried and invitational, and they've gained, excuse me, worldwide recognition. Keiko's conducted more than 270 workshops around the world and has published several books and released 4 DVDs. She's a member of the National Watercolor Society, the American Watercolor Society, American Impressionist Society, Laguna Plein Air Painters Association, and is also on the advisory board of the American Watercolor Weekly. So we've got a really great treat in store for you today. As always, Keiko and I can't see or hear you. Ideally, type your question in the Q&A section, which is at the bottom. Or if you'd like to put a question directly to the artist, you can press the little hand icon and I can invite you in and you can ask your question directly to Keiko. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a little bit of a delay, but you can type your question on YouTube. I'll see that and I can put that to Keiko for you. So it's a great live experience. Finally, we'll stop around halfway to take a short little break and ask Keiko to outline her exclusive workshop, which is taking place in a week or so's time on the 1st of October, Thursday the 1st. But for now, it's time to hand over to our main feature, Keiko. Hello, Keiko.
Hi, John. How are you? Hi, everybody. So nice to be in camera and talking to all of you. So today I'm going to give you a little lesson using the photo that I took in Spain. I'm going to paint boats because in coming October, I'm going to do a workshop to teach you how to do coastal village with a little beach and boats and people, and then there are many elements. But to do everything well, it can be overwhelming. So I decided to just take one element in that scene to show you how to do that. So you can be good at it. And then, but when the time comes for you to do the big painting, at least that part will be a piece of cake. So let's see what happens.
Well, Keiko, just before you do that, I've got someone's hand up, Hazel. So I'll
Yes.
just bring Hazel in. You might need to unmute Hazel.
I need to ask, is the chat working or should it not be working yet?
So the chat, no, but the Q&A, it's just like chat. So if you press Q&A, type your chat in there.
Just to say that poor old Maureen's got locked out and she was the second one after me to sign up.
Oh, no. Well, unfortunately, it is on a first come, first served basis, unfortunately. So depending on when Zoom decides to let you in, but she can watch on YouTube right now because it's live on YouTube.
Okay, I'll mute myself again. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye. Brilliant. Back with you, Keiko.
Okay, so I'm going to start. If you can spotlight
Sure.
the paper. All right, so I'm going to move to, I have my little studio set up right next to my computer. All right, I think I will use this paper and then do a drawing first. Usually I draw first using this pencil. There's 4B lead inside. Okay, so I'll show you. So quickly I sketch out the composition. Well, I think the composition is very good in the photo, and so I will almost copy. But I'm thinking if I feel I can make it look better in the composition, I will do that. But at this moment, I think everything looks great, so I will start. I will see I see the horizon very close to the middle of the scene, but I think I want to raise this a little bit. That's one little change I'm making, because this scene is more about the boats. Well, I want us to practice boats, so I'm showing more foreground actually this way. So that's the horizon. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I understand it's a little hard to see pencil line sometimes, even though I'm using 4B. And there's a headland over there. And the shoreline is like this. And there are boats. Let's see how many. Well, I don't really need everything. I just need maybe 3 at least, so that I can fill this beach with the boats. Again, this is for us to practice boats. So I'm just placing maybe 4. And I'm asking myself if I'm happy with this arrangement. And I am. And I'm almost copy. I almost copy the boats where they are. And then I'm gonna do one by one a little bit better drawing, where I decided to place them in this composition. Yeah, so drawing is very important for me. I almost always do a drawing first, but there are lots of things I'm thinking in my head. So even though drawing is mostly about the composition, I am thinking different important design elements. Value is one of them. You probably heard of it. So where is a light? Where is a dark? That's what I have to decide actually before I start painting. So I use my drawing time to do that. So in this painting, the light is in the sky, of course. If you're not painting a night scene, usually the sky is light. And then headland over there is dark. The water, because I think there are a lot of gray clouds in the sky, and the water looks a little bit darker today, or in the photo, and the beach is light. So it's quite simple. And the boats, I see white lights and darks, and so I need to make sure I'm making contrast for the boats. But that's about it. It's simple enough. It's always like this. It's simple, the value structure. And I think, as the title of today's lesson says, if you keep your painting simple, you have a strong painting. That's what it means. And so if the value structure is complicated, it's not always simple. If it's complicated, I'll change so that it'll be simple. And if it's simple enough, I can paint fast and I can finish quickly. And usually, if you can finish your painting that way, usually you have a very good painting, simple yet strong, because it's and also it's full of light because you have a nice contrast, and also full of energy. That is very important for me.
Now, Keiko, we've actually got a
Yes.
couple of people asking whether they can see the reference photo. Now, the reference photo is on Shopkeep Arty, but I don't know whether people may have come through a different way to
Okay, maybe I can show you. You may see a little reflections of the lights near my paper, but I can show you my tablet. So this is a photo I'm using. Okay, and like I said, there are some reflections. Please forgive me. I don't know how to get rid of it. Otherwise, I'll be painting in the dark. So that's the sky, the beach, right, and the boats. And it's a very simple thing. So this is what I'm painting.
Brilliant. And I've also pasted the link on YouTube as well, so hopefully
Thank
they
you.
can see.
Okay, so now the paint drawing is done. It's time to paint. I think I can say I finished my painting in 2 steps. So what I'm going to show you first is the first step. Usually I use, let me show you the brushes, this or this. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. I have several more, but I only need one anyway. So, but if I have another one, I can use that to soften edges. That's so important for me. So I have 2, but from different companies. This one's Escoda, Ultimo. This one's Raphael, Soft Aqua. They're both synthetic, but the size is pretty much the same. And then the hair is synthetic, but it's quite soft. I need that type of brush to do the first wash. So if I have a similar brush, if not them, I will be happy. I think I can do the first wash very easily. So I'm going to show you the first part, and maybe we can break after that, or I can take questions. All right, let's see. The color of the sky, like I said, there's some clouds. Therefore, I need to paint the color of the sky first, and then place clouds on top of it. I will not paint them separately. I'm using a little bit of yellowish color right here. Maybe I'm going to warm it up a little bit. Adding orange, a little bit of orange. Let's see. I will just use that yellow-orange mixture to wet the sky. And I'm going to use cobalt blue to make some parts of the sky bluer. Not too much, because as I said, the light should be there in the sky, right? If the sky is dark and it becomes dark, I think everything else is going to be darker or equally dark or darker, and then you have a very dark painting. And I don't want that. So in the photo, I see some clouds. Actually, clouds are quite gray. I don't want to make this painting a somber one, so I will make sure I won't put too much gray in the sky, just a little bit, before the paper is dry. So they look very soft, and it won't be too much. As long as the thing has a soft edge, it will look very soft in a painting, not too strong. That's what I want. And the headlines, and I think maybe I should dry the part of the paper a little bit, either naturally or with a tissue. Doesn't matter. I think I want to do both. I try to dry it with a tissue, but I want to dry naturally. But because there are other things to paint, I want to wait. So I'm not wasting my time. So let's see. I was going to paint the water, but I think I'll move on to paint the beach first. Doesn't matter where to paint first, this part of the painting. The only thing I want to be careful about is if there's anything that should remain white in the painting. I'm asking myself, is there anything? I have to go around it. I have to paint around it. so that the color of the paper will be shown there. Is there anything? Not there in the sky, not in the water. But if you have the photo, if you have access to the reference photo, some of the boats are white. Okay, so I believe if I really want to show the color of the paper anywhere, it'll be in the boats, some of the boats. So actually, maybe inside the boat, outside, I don't really want to show a white anywhere. So I will, after I finish the first wash, I think you will see where those areas are, because at this moment there's too much white and you don't really see where I'm intending to leave white. So the beach, I use the raw sienna and a little bit of burnt sienna. Okay, but I wet it first, as you saw. So these look very wet, and it is. I would, yeah, I need some time to dry this. But as you notice, I even painted inside the boats. Well, I mean, it is outside, physically outside, but I'm talking about on the surface of this, my paper. I drew the boats this way. But when I painted the beach, I didn't go around the boats. I painted it even from inside the boats. That's one thing that may be different from what you do, because I have seen some of my students paint differently, which is if they want to paint beach, they just paint out the beach outside the boats. They have to do the negative painting around the boats or whatever that was on the beach. So maybe I can show you something. It's not really to prepare for this painting, but I just wanted to show you the difference, the thing I just explained by showing you this. I had to make sure this won't disturb the wash underneath. So I'm going to hold it in midair. So this is what I did. Okay, so I painted the beach even from inside the boats. That's what I meant. But I've seen some people painting this way when they painted the beach. They went around the boats. Okay, and why I did this, I will explain a little bit later. So
Keiko,
the paper dries.
Just a
Yes.
question from Joni Bees on YouTube. What colors are in the beach again? Could you just?
Yes, I mixed two colors.
Sienna, I think.
Okay, I started with the yellow, not yellow ochre, rose sienna, and I added burnt sienna. So there are two colors inside. All right, so what I'm doing right now is called the splattering, and I'm using the just pure water, okay, and the splatter. And why I did this, I wanted to just give a little texture in the sand. And then if it doesn't show, I see some spots because of that. I can use a little bit of color. And okay, this may shock you because it's a very different color. I combined dioxazine purple and a little bit of phthalo blue. Okay, but the same action. It's called the splattering. Into the wet paper. Of course, this can be done on the dry paper, but all those spots, or you're making lots of spots in the painting, they will become a very harsh. They will have a very rigid look. If that's what you want, that's fine. But I don't want. So I made sure when I did that, paper was still wet. And actually, this color, the purple and the phthalo blue mixture, I'm going to use this to make shadows. Again, if you have access to the photo, you can tell the scene is not very sunny because there are lots of clouds in the sky, but the boats still have shadows underneath. So that's what I'm going to paint, okay, using this color. Again, into the wet paper. So none of these will have a hard edge, but that's what I want. Always know what you want before you do something in the painting. Everything is done in the wet paper, but it's not terribly wet. So you can see where I placed the shadow color, it stayed where I put it. Okay, it spread a little bit, but not too much. It is very important. Whenever you do wet in wet, that's what I did. A wet in wet is the technical term, but I think if you do watercolor, you know what it means. Yeah, but depending on the timing, how wet, is it very wet or just a little bit? You have a very different result. So you have to make sure, again, you have to know what you want. So now that the sky is painted and the beach is painted, I have to paint the middle section. So I'm studying the color in the photo, and I see there are different colors, different parts of the ocean. What is the sea? And I see a little more blue in the distance and a little more turquoisey, more green color near the beach. I think I want to paint from the near the horizon, making sure the sky, the very lowest part of the sky is dry, not too wet. Okay, so let's see this color. I just picked, I have two palettes, but the colors inside are the same. Okay, but I think I have to use this one. Let's see if I'm happy with this one. So I mix the phthalo blue and the cobalt blue in this one. All right, and then the painting the near the horizon first, and then I want to make it a little bit greener by adding turquoise. Okay, and then bring this down all the way to the beach. But there are boats. Okay, so I have to go around the boats because I want to. But only this part. If you remember how I painted the boats, well, I didn't, but when I painted the beach, I didn't paint the boats this way. This is called a negative painting. Whenever you paint around a shape, you're doing negative painting. So that's the only area, okay, near the top of the boats, I did a negative painting. Nowhere else. Everything was painted positively so far. You're gonna add some strokes just to indicate maybe waves. There are not many big waves on this beach. So this is what I call the first wash. I understand I haven't painted headlines over there. I was waiting for the paper to dry. So after that, I can say first wash is finished. So let me see if I can safely paint the headlines over there. That too, if I want a soft edge, and it's possible, even though in the photo, we see the headlines very clearly. So I don't want to say it is a soft edge, but you can change, right, in the painting if that's what you want. If you think that makes your painting more interesting and it's closer to your vision, by all means, you can. You have a total freedom to change anything, but it has to look good in your painting. That's the key. So I gave this area plenty of time to dry, but I can see, the very first stroke, and it spread a little bit. So the paper is not totally dry. And this color, I mixed Viridian and alizarin crimson mainly, and as you notice in my palette, and I don't really clean after when I change color in the mixing area. So previous colors are usually there. I can say this is pretty much Viridian and alizarin crimson. If you use those two, you get this.
Maria's just asked, what brush are you using now, Keiko?
This is called a, well, I can say calligraphy brush, but sometimes it could be, it may be the Asian painting brush. I don't know which one is this because no writing, and I got it a long time ago. But it's an Asian brush, either for calligraphy or painting. And I have tons of Asian brushes. sometimes in the handle, if you see the writing, you can get some, of course, if you can read it, you get some more information about the brush, because they don't use the same numbering system. Okay, so usually there's no number. I just said it's a small. I have a bigger one, which I may or may not use in this painting, a big one. Yeah, so the size can be different. And this one actually has some information on the handle, but usually in the writing, you see the name of the artist or the craftsman who made it, and also maybe the name of his atelier or workshop, or sometimes it says which animal hair it was used for them in the brush. So
That's interesting.
yeah, this one's a sheep. This one's a sheep, but this one no writing. That's why I said I can't give you any information.
Hazel's asked, is there an equivalent we can use to the calligraphy brush if people didn't have a calligraphy brush? What would you say is the closest equivalent?
Well, when I use a calligraphy brush, it's not because it's a calligraphy brush. It's more about the hair. Okay, so even though I have two right here, and obviously the color is different, it's not stained, it's not the color of the hair. So I believe it's a different animal. I can say in the handle, this is sheep hair. This probably, it's a little stiffer, maybe a hog or a mix, it's a blend, I don't know. So it's the hair that is important to me, and also the size. I wouldn't use this to do a wash. It's too small, unless I'm doing a very, very small painting, right? So the size and the type of hair is important. So yes, I'm not an expert in brushes, and so I can't really tell you what's the good equivalent. But for example, when I use sheep hair, is quite soft. Okay, even though when it's dry, it may feel a little coarse, but actually very soft, and it's perfect for a wash. And this is not too small, and probably I could do a wash using this.
Yeah.
So I'll pay more attention to the size and the type of hair. And if you
We've got
can
quite a
read,
few questions coming in.
oh, okay, go ahead, because I need to stop a little bit to dry this.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, it's a good time to take some questions.
That's good. So Shafali has said, kindly guide how you made the dark colors for the hills. So how did you, what were the sort of dark colors that you did in the hills?
Okay, I already said this, but I'll say it again. The Viridian and that is in crimson. I mainly use those two. But like I said, and I mix those colors in the mixing area where other colors were there, I mean, present, because I didn't clean my palette each time I changed my colors. So, but mainly those two colors that you can try.
Perfect. And Moise, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Which kindly remind her which yellow and orange that you used for the sky.
Well, that's a good question, because I was a bit in a hurry and I didn't say that. So the yellow, I have a few in my palette, if you can see my palette, but I use a lemon yellow. But I decided that was a little too cool, and the color temperature is too cool. So I added the orange, and my orange is right here. It's called a red orange from Scenery.
Okay, perfect. And Barb has asked, how do you get your splatter to go just where you want it?
Everybody asks me that, and I don't know. I think if you do it close to the paper, I mean, you have to flick your brush, and so you don't want to be too close when you start. But but sometimes I've seen people, like 3 feet away from the painting, that's too far. So stay close to the paper, and then move your brush quickly. And of course, then you can cover the area you don't want to see it, right? So, I mean, it's probably the safest way. I don't do it that way. So sometimes if you notice there's a little dot there in the sky, right? It's not a mistake, but I didn't mean to put a dot in the sky. So it happens. So if if you're a very neat painter, and where, I'm not, so I don't mind, but you might mind if this is your painting, right? So to cover it up and then you'll be safe. You can be bold when you do it. But it's, to me, there's no such secret. I just do it. And sometimes when things like that happens, so be it. I'll just leave it.
And Moise said, do you change the colors on your palette often, or do you work with the same colors all the time?
My palette, this is my basic palette. Okay,
Yeah.
so if I may show you the whole thing, and yeah, this is my basic palette. So I have, well, I could have 14, right? 14 colors, but I rarely have 14 different colors because and some colors I use a lot, so I feel too well with the same color. But yeah, there's so many different colors available in the market, and it's fun to experiment. And I love different colors. But this is a basic palette, and it's always the same.
Yeah.
And
And
I kind of
have you
develop.
interchanged the colors out of that basic palette, or did it literally?
Oh, over the years it happened, but not so much because it's very basic. And I think pretty much everybody needs 3 primary colors to begin with,
Yeah.
right? So I picked at least 2 or 3 different colors from each primary.
Yeah.
And then the few other colors that are difficult to mix. But if you have 3 primary colors, most of the colors you can almost mix and create. Okay, so you have to learn, you have to spend more time learning how to mix colors. I think it's better, time better spent, in my opinion,
Yeah.
rather than keep, buying different colors. Because the manufacturers, they're amazing. They keep making different colors, and they give a really fancy names that makes us all want to try, right? And I'm one of them. I totally understand. But I think if you have too many colors in your palette, and then once you need a color, you don't know where to find it, that's not a good thing. So I think you really have to know your colors. That's what I'm trying to say, because it's not just the names. Okay, they could be transparent, they could be opaque, they could be staining, they could granulate, or they may not. And there's so much information we can learn about each pigment. And I think if you know that, if you have the knowledge, I think you can have more confidence when you paint. And when you mix colors, you'll be making the right choices. So I think it's very important for all of us to learn about the colors we choose to use.
And Kiara's asked, are you painting with a gradient, or is it on a flat surface? Because it's difficult to see at this angle.
Oh, it is a flat right now, but for a demo, I'm doing it this way. I prefer to paint at an angle, maybe not so much, but it depends on what I want to do. Sometimes almost vertical, I wouldn't mind, but typically maybe 15 to 20 degrees, I prefer. Yeah, but to do a demo under this camera, which is set, I cannot move it. So I think it's better. So I'm painting totally flat. But actually, it's difficult for me to paint this way.
So let's take a little break now, just to recap on, because it'd be a good idea just to have a bit of a chat with you, Keiko, about what you're planning on doing in your workshop, which is on the 1st of October. So let me share my screen. I'll put the camera on you. There we go. And then I can share my screen and show people.
You see the painting?
Picture on there. So again, shopkeeparty.com, arty classes, scroll down, and on the 1st of October, you can see Keiko's placeholder there. And if you click on see details, you can then scroll down and see everything about what she's planning on doing. And this is the painting right here. So explain a little bit about what you're wanting to do in this composition.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for an opportunity to talk about this painting. This is one of my favorites. And well, this is Italy, although today's photo was taken in Spain, but both, the Mediterranean coastal villages. So it's a little bit of similarity in terms of colors of light and the whole atmosphere. But this painting is not about just boats. And you can see buildings and you see people, and also the dramatic shadows. And there are a lot of things, interesting things going on. But it's, of course, a splattering. You can see some in the buildings. It's too much to do everything all at once. You may feel overwhelmed, but that's why I decided to do boats, and just to show you how to do boats this time today. But whole atmosphere is just fantastic. And I painted this in my studio based on my plein air painting. I made a smaller painting. This is a bigger painting on site. I like doing a painting outside on plein air, on location, which I did. And I used that painting to do this painting. So in the little sketch I did on site, I tried to capture light and atmosphere. And I think I did, because that's what I almost used that idea for this painting, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't look at the photo. I took a photo there too. But if I could show you the photo, and which I can't right now, but you will see how different it is. The light and atmosphere is so much better in the painting, if I may say so. And yeah, that's very important for me. And I will show you how to create this kind of light and atmosphere in that workshop. And so today is just a little peek into that workshop. And you don't see everything, but I hope many of you will be interested in taking this workshop.
And maybe we can add that photo. Maybe we
and
can add that photo on here as well onto this page, so that people can see the if you've still got it.
Oh, I'll dig in. Yeah.
I don't know whether you still. But
my
you can see down here we've got the recommended material list for everyone as well. And then literally, if you want to book your place, you click on this link, and it will take you through to Keiko's shop. And you've got two options. You can book for the live webinar, which is £35. Or if you can't make it, you can pre-order the video, and you can order the video there. It's actually £39, but it's £15 if you attended the workshop. So you get a big discount if you attended the workshop and want the video to watch back in your leisure. I mentioned the fact that we were going to be doing a hot ticket thing. So a hot ticket thing. So let me just go through what that's all about. So what we're going to begin trialing today, to reward those of you who are joining us live rather than watching the recording later, what we're going to do is you can book a workshop webinar, which normally costs £35, but for the next hour you get 15% discount. So it'll make it just under £30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the link, and it will go to a sort of a hidden link that's on Keiko's shop, and where you can purchase it, and it will go up until about 3:30 our time. So in about an hour, it works out about 50 minutes actually. So even after this arty class has taken place, you have some time, and you can book your place if you want to do it. Obviously, after that time, it'll just revert back to the normal £35. So there you go. We're going to trial it and see whether you can, if there's interest in our hot tickets. So if you are interested in joining us on the 1st and want to take advantage of our hot tickets, you've got about 50 minutes. So I'll put the link both on YouTube and also on this webinar as well. And then you can link through to that hidden page. So, Keiko, we've got somebody's hand up, and we've got a few more questions actually. So let me just bring through Marianne. Hi, Marianne. You might need to unmute. Yeah.
Found it. Sorry. So the hot thingy, is that you've got to book it today?
Yes, you do.
I'm sorry. What date is it?
It's the 1st of October.
And it's at what time?
3:30 in the afternoon. So it'll be an hour and a half later for Keiko than this morning. So I think Keiko will quite like that. Yes, it'll be a bit lighter. So it's 3:30 UK time in the afternoon on Thursday, the 1st of October.
Okie doke. Thank you.
Brill. Thank you. Right. And we've got Maria's asked, do you prefer cotton or cellulose paper?
Oh, I make sure my paper is 100% cotton.
Okay.
Yeah, for a number of reasons, but 100% cotton.
Okay.
So much better.
And Shafali's asked, the lemon yellow color you used in the first layer of the sky is not showing in your painting. As I am painting side by side your workshop, I can find reflection of yellow in the sky.
Oh, the yellow is not showing up where? In the water?
Maybe in the sky, maybe.
In the sky. Yes, it is. It is there. You can see. Because if you remember, I put the gray clouds and the blue too.
Yeah.
Well, the gray clouds, I didn't want to make it too clear, so it's kind of diffused into the blue sky. But yeah, the yellow is there.
Yeah. And Parveen's asked, in your workshop, would it be a demo or would you be painting along? Well, we definitely do it as a paint along session. We find that the best way to learn and everything is if you paint along you don't have to paint along. We can't see you. You could just watch if you wanted to. But if you paint along, you can, you'll as you're doing it, your questions will come to you. you'll think, oh, what about that? And you can ask Keiko immediately. And it's a brilliant learning tool to really develop your skills. You don't think of questions when you're not doing it. When you're just watching someone, you don't think. So it's a real, that's why it's a really good, proper workshop.
I agree. I hope if you sign up, and I hope you will paint, because you learn so much from actually doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And Marion said a sketch before we start the workshop might help. So I don't know what your thoughts there are, whether you would, whether people should sketch it out.
Sketching meaning little value sketch, or the drawing. Maybe they meant the drawing.
Yeah. Also, so the on your
anything will help prepare yourself, and because of the the actually doing something, you're preparing yourself. It's not just mentally but also physically.
Yes.
And so yes, by all means, if you have time and energy to prepare by doing, by all means do a sketch. But the sketch can be for the composition, or could be the value sketch, which I strongly recommend if you're going to do something. And it could be, like a gestural drawing, could be a contour drawing, it could be just a portion. Okay, I'm not good at boats, I'm going to just sketch boats and to feel good about it. And so there are many ways to tackle that. So but doing it is so much better than just looking at the photo. Okay, I'm going to paint this, and yes, please do something.
Yeah. Will the class be viewable via recording after the live class? Well, that's from Rebecca. Well, Rebecca, our arty class, this will be viewable on YouTube for a couple of weeks, and then we archive it. So you will be able to see this one here for a few weeks. And then the workshop, you can, as I showed you before, you can purchase that if you want to, and then you can have that forevermore to watch to your heart's content. I'm just posting the links now. So there's the link to the secret shop page.
And I hope you don't mind, I'm already painting.
Go for it. Now I've got the camera on you. Hazel, Parveen, I always want to paint along. I'm doing so now. That's good. Yeah. So great. I'm glad you're on board, Parveen. Susie said, my hill has bled into my sea, but it actually looks fine. Enjoying it.
So, that's great. Yeah.
Wow,
that's the spirit.
And we've got, and Christina from Sweden is saying hello to you, Keiko.
Hi.
Hello. And Christina said, how do you work with blooming color when it's wet? Paint over or let it be? When the color is blooming.
Oh, yes, I know that could be a problem, right? So my answer to that is it's very difficult because there's no straight answer. And I'm sure everybody has experienced it, right? And I have too. So sometimes I just left it when it happened in my painting. Sometimes I try to remove it, take it out, because just looked awful. And so it's, I'm sure most of the time when it happened, you didn't intend to make it, right? So it's a surprise, it's an accident. But sometimes that's the kind of accident you can live with, or you can turn into something else you didn't even think about to incorporate, to put it in your painting. So, for example, if it had happened in the middle of the sky, for example, I wouldn't, in this painting, I wouldn't be happy. As soon as it started appearing, I would have, tried something to take it out. But I wouldn't, but if I noticed that in a way after that, long after it happened, I have to live with it because it's already dried. And then it's extremely difficult to take it out from the middle of the sky. Maybe I made a terrible mistake. So that I don't make, so as soon as you take notice when it's happening, and I think that's the easiest time to remove it. And then I would do it gently, the way I do it. And, I wish I could demonstrate, but it's not happening right now. Yeah, you don't want to vigorously scrub it off because you may be lifting everything from that area, and you might be making the problem even worse. So you have to approach that problem and gently, if I may say that way. And so you need maybe soft hair brush to sort of remove the excess or blend the edges, because it's really the edge that's the problem. So you have to spend most of your energy into removing the edge, not the whole thing. Okay, so try to blend the edge. So once it's dry, that's why I say once it's dry, it's extremely difficult, because you're not just removing the edge. You are removing everything. So you will still end up with a white edge. And so it's the important thing is it could happen. Don't be afraid too much. It could happen, but you have to notice it, because the whole thing doesn't appear boom like that, right? So it start when you start seeing it happening, just you have to ask yourself, is this something I can live with, or or I don't need it? If you don't need it in your painting, take it out at that moment. Don't wait. And I think I can say that. Sorry, it's a long answer, but
that's okay. You've had a message from Bob in Florida, your longtime student, saying it's a great class. So
thank you.
And David's asked, what paper and weight have you used today, please? Is it your usual paper?
This is not my usual paper. I thought it was because I prepared this paper a long time ago. It doesn't look like my usual paper. My usual paper is Arches or Fabriano Artistico, or sometimes Saunders Waterford. It could be one of those, but I don't know. I'm sorry to say. I should have prepared the paper the night before so I can give you the answer. But at least those are my favorites. And I like rough. Okay, this is rough. So in that regard, it's the same paper and my favorite paper. And weight is 140 pounds. It's not the heaviest, but I don't mind 140 pounds or 300 grams. It's the same. And I like that weight, or a little heavier. But 140 pounds is heavy enough. It does buckle, and especially after the first wash, I notice warping or buckling. It's not totally flat, but it's not too much because I don't wet the paper too much. And so it's something I can live with, and I don't really have to wait until the paper is totally flat again to do the rest of the painting. It's a kind of warping that I can still paint on, quite safely. So yeah, I think the weight of the paper is important. If it's lighter and the warping will be too much, and I would have to wait between two washes and two stages. Okay, so I think I painted the boats almost by, the copying what I see in the photo. I didn't have to, but I didn't mind. So different colors, but mostly the boats are quite white, but there are some colored areas. I painted those almost by copying. You can see in some of the boats, especially this one, that the right side is slightly lighter, meaning the sun is coming into the scene this way. So you can tell why I put the shadows this way. Yeah, I already noticed where the sun is, even though the photo, if you just look at the sky, it's not really clear. And then I will just do something like this. Yeah, so the masts and the riggings, and it's not there. I mean, it is. This boat has something, right? Yeah, but I'm adding a few more things, and even this one, if I may, I will do this. Yeah, doing something like this is quite scary, actually.
It's got the potential to go all wrong, isn't it?
Yes, but it's important not to be too safe. If you're playing it safe too much, and when you paint, you may have a lovely result, but you may not be learning a lot, right? If you are doing using the same technique and the trustworthy ones, and not the new ones. And I think to grow as an artist, actually, I think it's important that we keep trying something new by experimenting and painting outside the comfort zone. That's something we all have to do. Beginner or experienced, doesn't matter. It is so important.
Maria's asked, is the reason that you've put the masks in to sort of unify the several elements
Good. Yes, good way to put it. It is one reason. One of the strongest.
Very good, Maria. I might have something for Maria. Here we are. I think that's our best question so far on this class. So
I agree.
That was a good one. So here we go. This is for you, Maria. Gold star. There we go.
Great. Yeah, that was a great question. Okay, so I think in this small painting, everything I wanted to show you, I did, except for the rocks, right? And but this painting is more about the boats and the beach, well, the whole landscape, but also for you to see my process.
Now Hazel's got her hand up. I'll just bring Hazel in. You'll need to unmute, Hazel.
And I've forgotten my question.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Come back to me in a second.
No problem.
Okay, so these last things, the rocks included, really ties in everything together.
As with always,
darks.
Hazel's remembered now. As soon as you unconnect it, you remember.
Of course. I just wondered if Keiko knows a lot about boats, whether somebody that did know about boats would disagree with where those lines and things are, or whether she just doesn't care, or whether she knows they're right.
Okay.
You're asking me?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you know that those masks would necessarily be there, or you just ad-libbing it?
Oh, well, you can see in the photo, one boat has a little mast, and then something else, right? Not all the riggings, but I live in the coastal area in California, not in Spain, and I have painted boats numerous times. So, although I'm not an expert, and if you are, you might want to correct something in this painting. But I think
I'm not an expert, but I have a friend who used to be a ship's captain, and if I paint anything that's wrong, he's going to go,
don't show this painting to your friend.
Yeah, don't show it to him. Yeah, when he comes around, just take the painting down.
Fair enough.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Hazel.
Yeah, but thank you for attending. I really appreciate it. I know Hazel very well, and I think accuracy is important, and especially if an expert looks at it and says, "Oh, yeah, she did a great job," and that would make me happy. But it's not the most important thing for me. I just look at everything, not just the boat and the details for the boat. Everything from a design point of view. If it makes my design looks good, I will do it. For the meaning, what I mean by that is, the landscape typically has so many horizontal elements, especially beach scene. It's so hard to find something vertical. And also diagonals. So, every direction that I said, horizontals, verticals, and diagonals, I need in my painting, any painting, not just this one. So, I couldn't introduce anything else that's vertical other than those. Right? So to me, it makes so much sense because otherwise everything is horizontal and a little bit diagonals in the shadows, right? Or even though shadows don't exist in the photo and I invented it. So there are a few things, thoughts went into that decision. That's what I meant. As a design, it made sense to me. But for accuracy, I'm not sure. It may not be possible. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It's my
No,
hair.
that's
I can do
no,
whatever I want.
it makes sense. It makes sense. We've got a few other comments and shout outs. So
Okay.
we've got Ferozus Pawan. Hi Keiko, long time since seeing you in Bangkok.
Hi.
Then Susan Ormsby, beautiful Keiko, brings back memories from your amazing Sicily workshop.
Oh, thank you, Susan.
I bet that was amazing.
That was
Actually, was
fun.
it? Was that fun?
Mhm.
And Susan's asked, cool colors in the background and warm in the foreground. How important is this?
Another good observation. Yes, I think it's something far away should look cooler or grayer or more neutral, not too bright, and then it warms, in front. And I think maybe you heard of this. And also not just about cool and warm, and dark and light as well. So something far away is light, something close is dark. So darks and warms come forward, and the rest goes recede. And well, in general, I think it's true. Sometimes I don't do that intentionally, but if you go by this kind of rule, that it works. And also in the painting, you need some warms and cools to balance things out. And so I could have flipped it, but yeah, for the first reason, I didn't, and I think it was a good decision.
Yeah. Marion said, how do you get such straight lines? She's tried holding the brush at the end, but it's so wobbly.
So yeah, that's another. And after splattering, how to do that? I said I don't know. I did that too, and I have to say I don't know. You just have to do it right without ruler. And if I may show you the brush I use, and so this one, right? The hair is quite long, and so if I don't do it decisively with speed, my hand gets shaky and wobbly, and then because this hair is so soft, not just long, it's very soft, and I could make those lines very wiggly and then not really thin.
Yeah.
So it's so important that you keep the same distance. How much of the hair you want it, to touch the paper, actually touch the paper to make the stroke. So that's why you have to keep the distance same. But also the way you hold the brush, I don't want you to hold it close to the hair like this to do this. I don't know, it may work for you, but it doesn't work for me. I prefer holding the far end of the brush and then use the entire arm. So actually, if I'm sitting down, I wouldn't be able to make those lines, this straight, and they're not perfectly straight. I know that. But if I stand, so actually, I need some distance between me and the painting as well.
Yeah.
And that is important. And I try to use the entire arm. I try not to use that my wrist. Those things I can say.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. You just have to do it. And then make it, they practice a lot. Not in the painting, but different, the scrap paper or something. You can practice a lot.
Well, I think this has been a brilliant arty class, Keiko. Thank you so much. It's been a really, really lovely session. Can you believe the time has gone? We're sort of an hour.
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
It's incredible, isn't it? So now, very important, on the YouTube, in the description, there's a link, and also we'll add it to the Shopkeep Arty page as well. There's a link to our Facebook post that is this post with Keiko's class today on. So if, when you finished your paintings of boats and things like that, please do post your painting up on that Facebook post. So then Keiko can have a look at it later. She might make the odd comment about it or something. But it's really great, more importantly, that everyone can see all the different versions of everybody's art. It's a really great way to just see what everybody's done. So just post it up on the Facebook post. There's a direct link on the YouTube video to that as well. It's been really fun today. Obviously, you've got your links to the hot tickets thing, both on YouTube and on here. As soon as I finish this, that link might disappear. So just kind of click on it now and it'll open up a tab on your browser. You don't have to necessarily go through and purchase it, but at least you've got the link there, because the link will disappear. So do make sure you just click on that, either in the chat now or on YouTube on that link there. Diane's got her hand up. Okay, Diane, I'll let you in. Here we go. Unfortunately, Diane, you are using an older version of Zoom, so unfortunately I can't bring you in, but you can put a message if you'd like. So Keiko, we've had a few Hazel said can't see the hot link, so it's in your chat panel. So if you click on chat at the bottom in the webinar, click on chat and you should see it there. The link should be there, so hopefully you can just see that now. Linda said it was really great, thank you. Dorina, thank you, excellent class. We've actually had over 300 people watching this today.
Oh, wow.
Keiko, so yeah, it's been lots of people, and there's some more comments here. Brilliant, was due to see Keiko this May, so thrilled she's here today. That's from Julie. Alda from Portugal, just to say, brings back lovely memories from many places.
Thank you, Alda.
And then Gary, hello Keiko, reminds me of the beach and boat scene we painted in Sicily. So lots of memories flooding back, I think, from this class.
Me too, me too.
It's lovely from all around the world. And that's what's so brilliant about these online webinars. You can be in many different places and come together in one place. So I really, really hope it's going to be great fun on the 1st of October. I hope you can come and join us. Then it's going to be a lot longer as well, with 2 to 3 hours. It's a really nice immersive experience, and a little bit later for Keiko as well, so it's a bit nicer on Keiko.
Thank you,
She doesn't have to wake
John.
up so early. Brilliant. So until next time, we've got another RT class, I think this Thursday, Jane Bettridge, and I think that's for patrons actually. I've got a workshop starting in half an hour with Liz Chatterton. We're doing using a dip pen technique. It's going to be quite interesting. But until next week, thank you very much for joining us. Really looking forward to seeing your art, and obviously bye-bye from me, and obviously bye-bye, of course, to Keiko.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Take care.